Shabbat Shalom, Israel. We will be live shortly. I hope you're having a really great, restful Shabbat.
And as Rebekah always says, when Shabbat didn't go so good,
Oh well, we'll practice again next week. Hello. Oops, let me get that right. Let me move this over. Hello. Hello, Scattered Israel. And, I think I've got reverb going on. Hello, Scattered Israel and Ladies of Teshuvah. I am Rebekah and Isaac, and thank you for joining me for the Happy Hippie Hebrew Girl show, and I am the Happy Hippie Hebrew Girl. Don't ask me why. Anyway, get ready for a really nice, good show tonight, a great show. I've got new segments for you that I've been working on all week. I'm excited to share them with you. And remember, my show is dedicated to helping you move your head knowledge into heart knowledge. Yes. Get ready for head knowledge moving into heart knowledge, ladies and gents. There we go again. I'm gonna have to fix that every single time. Hello, ladies and gents. Guess who's in the house? I have Isaac in the house tonight, and I have Hadassah in the house. I'm very excited to show you something that Hadassah has. Hadassah has something to show you. I'm excited to share with you. So I hope that you can join me for the next 80 to 90 minutes or so, where we are going to kind of help to approach how to walk this narrow path of the Melchizedek priesthood in a way that honors the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and is a joy and a delight to do. Tonight we're going to talk about new moon, how to celebrate what it is, how to celebrate, and to do a self-audit, like how are you doing with that? So I'm excited to have you join us for the next little bit. So, and ladies, remember afterwards, definitely join me in the ladies group for an interview with one of the ladies. All right, we will keep going here. I'll have to fix these every single time, I think, but anyway. Teshuvah Ministries, promoting a simple understanding of salvation and of the Royal Melchizedek Priesthood. Visit www.teshuvahministries.com for more. Good evening and welcome to the newsroom. I am Rebekah and tonight, like father, like son, where Yeshua echoes his father. Tonight we are going to look at, again, judged by our works, where both of them talk about we will be judged by our works and what we do. So let's look first what Yeshua says. We're going to look in Matthew 16:27. Matthew 16:27 says, "One day the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels and reward every man according to his works." Wow. So there you go. That's pretty clear in my opinion. And then we have Revelation 20:13 in the 5th gospel where Yeshua talks again. And he says, "The sea gave up the dead that were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead that were in them, and every man was judged according to his works." Okay, Yeshua actually wasn't saying that. That was narrative from John. But nevertheless, every man was judged according to his works, something that Revelation talks about. Now let's see where Yeshua actually echoes his Father. Let's look in Deuteronomy 15:10. Deuteronomy 15:10 says, give generously. This is Yahweh speaking, or Yahweh Elohim says, give generously to him and do so without a grudging heart. Then because of this, Yahweh your Elohim will bless you in all your work and in everything you put your hand to do. Wow, so you're getting blessed because of what you do. He says in Jeremiah 25:14, he says, I will repay them according to their deeds and the work of their hands. So obviously, both Yeshua and Yehovah are talking about being judged by what we do. So I would suggest that you figure out what deeds it is that you need to do to get the good blessings, to get the happily ever after. Till next time, I'm Rebekah Kaha. Well, hello. Maybe like, oh God. I have with me Isaac and Hadassah, my fam. Part of my fam. Maggie's not here right now, but Maggie's watching, I do believe. Isn't she? Okay, so we have something to look at here. We have a couple of things. This is our family time. We're just going to chat with you for a second about stuff that's gone on with us this last week. And Hadassah, what did you have happen this week that was a big deal?
Well, I got my hair cut.
She got her hair cut, and I love it. I think it is absolutely beautiful.
And I got bangs, so.
It's a big girl haircut. She hasn't had one since she was really little. I don't think we haven't gone to I just normally cut my family's hair, but this was really cool. Okay, so it has been absolutely, I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but it's been an absolutely beautiful Indian summer. She's fascinated, so she sees herself here, and so she's like, after she got it cut, all the way around she was cleaning the house, and she'd just go like this, and then vacuum, and look in the mirror and go like this, and vacuum some more.
So good.
All right, but look up there, because people are up there, and not here. They're not down here. They're up there.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know what it's like where you are, but it has been an amazing and absolutely stunning Indian summer, hasn't it, Isaac? I think we're making up for all the smoke that we had to endure.
Yeah, it's been really nice to have some good weather.
Oh, it has
been. The smoke
been.
is gone.
Oh, it's been glorious. And in fact, yesterday, this is Shabbat. I'm losing track of time. This is Shabbat, and yesterday, preparing for Shabbat, I went paddleboarding. You and I went paddleboarding, and you laid out, and I laid out in the sun. That was so nice. Yeah. Anyway, and so that was it's just beautiful. I'm just so thankful for it because the winter is so hard here, and it's just this summer. We just got cheated out of summer with all the smoke in August. We had continual smoke all August.
It's so bad you almost can't go outside. Now we can make up for it a little.
Yeah, it's been really nice, and I was thinking I was really, really wanting to find one of my favorite musicians of all time is, do you guys know?
Me?
Yeah, who's my favorite musician? One of mine. No, not you. No.
John Denver.
John Denver.
Oh, yeah.
And I absolutely love the song Sunshine on My Shoulders, and I don't have it at home. I cannot believe it. I have his CDs.
You have the case.
I have the case, but it has two. The disc is gone, and the one song I really wanted to hear this week was Sunshine on My Shoulders. Sunshine on my... Okay, so we have...
It's probably on iTunes.
I know, right? All right, here is Hadassah's slide. See if I can put this up. There's Hadassah's slide. So I am going to have Isaac, you can open that. We're going to read. Hopefully that other thing wasn't going. Let me get back here.
Check.
So I wanted you to know, I'm going to read this real quick. I love getting cards from people, and I got a card from my friend Shauna, who is in Scotland, and she sent me a little card that says, she brightened the world with her beautiful smile. Rebekah, you shine. Thank you for your faithfulness. Your example is inspirational. You're helping me make head knowledge to my heart. Move head knowledge to my heart. Shalom from Israel. Or from Shalom from Scotland. I have Israel on the brain. Shalom from Scotland, Shauna. Thank you, Shauna. Nice. I love these. I keep them. Okay, so what is in there? What's the encouragement in there?
Okay. So Joe says, hey there, Rebekah. I just want to encourage you and your family to keep dreaming. Keep putting your heart out to be broken and stepped on. Continue to consider it your tithe to Papa. Though they step on your hearts, they can never step on your dreams. Their feet aren't big enough. Keep pressing on. From all the people I have engaged in covenant, both you and Isaac speak the loudest, clearest, and with the fewest amount of words.
Really?
A lot of talkers out there, but hands to the plow, limited at best.
Aww.
Love y'all.
Thank you, Joe. That's a nice encouragement. Well, if you would like to send us some encouragement, not only can you go through our website, and there's a contact form there, you can do that. But here, I'm going to put up our little slide. Whoops, not that one, this one. And you can send us mail. How cool is that? I love mail. Snail mail. I even love to give snail mail.
Right. And I like to get mail too.
Hadassah loves to get mail. Oh, she loves to get mail. Okay, let us go on. We're going to keep going. And I got a new song for you that Bruce and I sang this summer. With my friend Bruce, who is an amazing guitar player, and I am incredibly blessed to have Bruce here helping me with these songs. So tonight we're going to sing Sandyland. Don't build your house on the sandy land. No, 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 don't build it too near the shore. Well, it might be kind of nice, but you'll have to build it twice, so you'll have to build your house once more. You better build on the rock, make a good foundation on a solid spot. Though the storms may come and go, but the peace of Yahweh you will know. Don't live your life like the pagan does. Don't live it like your neighbors. Well, they celebrate the pagan days, and Christians aren't living any cleaner. You gotta live set apart. You gotta live free from all those days. Well, you gotta turn your back on Christmas time and turn towards Hanukkah. Don't build your house on the sandy land. No, no, don't build it too near the shore. Well, it might be kind of nice, but you'll have to build it twice, so you'll have to build your house once more. Better build on the rock, make a good foundation on a solid spot. For the storms may come and go, but the peace of Yahweh you will know. Don't live your life like the pagan does. No, 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 don't live it like your neighbors. Well, they celebrate the pagan days, and Christians aren't living any cleaner. You gotta live set apart. Gotta live free from all those days. Well, you gotta turn your back on Christmas time and turn towards Hanukkah. Wanna come sing with me? Like the song? This one? You come sing? You're not gonna? Okay. Alright. Oh, so I have I have, if you didn't know, a little Happy Hippie Hebrew Girl Campfire songbook that you can purchase on our website, or on our website through our website store, and you can download it and then sing along with me. I love that song. I think Sandyland is an awesome song, and I love the verses. And I was cringing at the moment, hoping that people wouldn't throw me off the stage there at the camp when I sang that. But honestly, somebody made a really nasty comment about that song like over a year ago when I sang it on the show on the season 1, and ever since it was hard to get my kahunas back to, like, not just to sing that song but to pick up a guitar after. It took a while, so it took actually a year, and I'm just being honest. Okay, we are going to go through the Avinu prayer. The Avinu prayer is the Lord's Prayer, or the prayer that Yeshua taught us to pray. So let me find that here. All right. So let me find my slides. Very good. Okay. Avinu prayer is the prayer of our Father, and it's the prayer that Yeshua taught us to pray. Now, I'm just want to refresh your memory on what this prayer is every week, because it's the words of Yeshua, and he told us to pray like this. So this is important to know what he said, right? So Matthew 6:9-13 in the Hebrew Matthew version says, "Our Father in heaven, may your name be sanctified, may your kingdom be blessed. Your will shall be done in heaven and on earth. Give us your bread continually. Forgive the debt of our sins as we forgive the debt of those who sin against us. Do not bring us into the hands of a test, and protect us from all evil or peril. Amen." So if you notice, it's a little bit different than what we were taught in the Christian church, or what some of our other translations say. So there's no pomp and circumstance at the end. All right, so here we're going to say, let me go through here. And so some of you probably know this so much better than I do, but we're going to start just learning it together and continue to learn it together. Our Father in heaven, Avinu Shabasha Mayim, Avinu Shabasha Mayim. Hey, we got sirens going where we are. Avinu Shabasha Mayim. Where are we? Hold on. There we go. May your name be sanctified. Nope. Okay. Why can't I see this? Okay. Our Father in heaven, Avinu Shabasha Mayim. May your name be sanctified. Yitkadesh Shemcha. Yitkadesh Shemcha. Vayit. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm struggling with something here. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Avinu Shabasha Mayim. Yitkadesh Shemcha. May your name be sanctified. Is that the same one? I have this on here twice. May your name be sanctified. I do. Sorry. Kadesh Shemcha. V'yit barak melchutha. V'yit barak melchutha. Something is playing in the background. Do you hear something in the background? Does anybody hear something? Do you hear something in the background? I thought I heard something playing in the... I'm sorry, guys. All right. We'll get this. Your will shall be done in heaven on earth. Retzenha yiheya esvi bashamayim uva aretz. Retzenha yiheya esvi bashamayim uva aretz. V'titein lachmanu timidid. Give us our bread continually. Umechol lanu chachtotenu ka'asher anachnu mochalim. Forgive the debt of our sins as we forgive the debt of those who sin against us. V'yal t'vi'inu l'dei nid seyon. Do not bring us into the hands of a test. Vishom, renew mikora, protect us from all evil or peril. All right, so I'm actually going to, see, I don't know why that's, I'm going to go through that one more time because I got all messed up with my slides. So let's go back and we'll just go through it again real quickly. Let's see here. Okay, Avinu prayer. What? Everybody's like, what is your problem, Rebekah? All right, and there it is. All right, Avinu Shabasha Ma'im Yit Kadesh Shimcha. Look at that. There we go. Ve'yit Barak Melchutha. Retzoncha Yihe Ya'asui Bashamayim Uva Aretz. Ve'titein lak menu timidit. Umehol lanu chatotenu ka'asher anachnu mochalim. Vial tevi'inu l'dei seon. Vishom, renew mikora, protect us from all evil or peril. Very nice. There you go. Okay, but we're going to focus just for a second on the forgiveness part because last season we really talked a lot about sanctifying the name, and this season, like you all know, we're going to talk a little bit more about the forgiveness. So I actually have some, we're going to focus on, oh wait, I had that there for a reason. All right, we're going to turn this live camera on, and we're going to push this down. There we go. See, isn't that cool? Okay. I'll move this way just a bit. Okay, so we're going to focus on forgiveness just for a moment. And guess what? I can't read it. Oh my. I had this all prepared. I don't know. I'm the happy Hebrew girl that just can't read. Okay, we are admonished by the writer of Colossians. I'm going to read these to you. Colossians 3:13-14 says, therefore, as Yahweh's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as Yahovah forgave you. And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. All right, here's another one. We are admonished by the writer of Ephesians, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as in Yeshua, Yehovah, forgave you. That's pretty powerful. Yes. All right. And Rabbi Yeshua said, do not judge and you will not be judged. Do not condemn and you will not be condemned. Forgive and you will be forgiven. Give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured out into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Woo! All right, let's see what this one says. Rabbi Yeshua at Simeon's or Simon's house, the woman who anointed Yeshua. In fact, this would be, I would love for you to read this, Luke 7:36-50. This is a powerful story. In fact, next week, I think I will bring, I will have more time and we will read this together. All right. Yeah, Rabbi Yeshua said, if your brother or sister sins against you, rebuke them, and if they repent, forgive them. Even if they sin against you 7 times in a day and 7 times come back to you saying, I repent, you must forgive them. But notice, like, that is just really interesting. There's the if word. If they repent, forgive them. So does that mean that if they don't repent, then you don't forgive them? That is that's pretty powerful. Let's see, is this the same one? This was the same one right here. Oh, there we go. Nope, it's a different one. Rabbi Yeshua said, and when you stand praying, forgive if you have something against anybody else, one of your brothers or whatnot, if you have aught against any, that your Father also, which is in heaven, may forgive your trespasses. So you forgive if you have anything against someone else or when you're praying. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father, which is in heaven, forgive your trespasses. All right. And then Rabbi Yeshua said, for if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins. Wow, it just keeps on saying this over and over. All right. And then this is a great story, and we'll read it next week. Rabbi Yeshua told the story of the unmerciful servant, and I'm sure you all have heard that. But that is a very powerful story, so we will read that next week. So who do you need to forgive this week? Has anybody come to you and asked for forgiveness? That rarely happens, doesn't it, Isaac? Like,
yeah, almost never.
Almost never. Has anybody? Like, how often does that? Now that I think about that, that's pretty wild. Like, if you've hurt someone, do you need to go to someone and ask for forgiveness? That's a flip side of all this. Like, think about it. Have you hurt someone? This is good. This is the flip side of all of it. You know, we talk about forgiving the other person, but what if we have done something to hurt someone else? Have we gone to that person and asked them for forgiveness and given them a chance to forgive us? Have we repented? Wow, I do not remember having many people come this way and ask for forgiveness for hurting us. I believe, and going the other person's way, I know I've done that. I
do it at home. I think I've done
You do it at home a lot.
I can
He's like,
think of outside the home.
Outside the home. Have you done it
I know
outside the
there's
home?
one I
Yeah?
can think of. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe the audience who's listening tonight can really think about this. Like, before we wait for someone else to come and ask for forgiveness from us, so that we can forgive them, is there something that we need to ask forgiveness for? So that's a really good thing for everyone today on this Shabbat to think of after hearing the words of Yeshua, because they're not my words, they're his words, and he's telling us to forgive. But there's that flip side of people are actually coming to ask for forgiveness, and that's, we need to be going to ask forgiveness from people who we've hurt.
I just thought of two more. But
Yeah?
I still cannot think of one where somebody's come our way.
I
still haven't thought of one.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it while we go on to the next segment. All right. Let's go on. We will, let me see where we're at. There we go. Got a nice segment for you coming up. If you are repenting and returning to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then you are part of the scattered. Whoops! And it is prophesied that one day, Papa Yah, we will plant you in the land. But perhaps before that, you will get to visit.
Last ago, we went to visit Israel.
Yes, we were privileged to visit Israel last Sukkot. So Hadassah and I have 3 travel tips for you today. The first travel tip is learn how to say
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
in Hebrew. These are words and phrases that I wish I had known when we were over in Israel last year. So how do you say thank you in Hebrew, Hadassah? Do you know? Todah.
Toda Rabah.
Todah. Just Todah.
Toda.
So how do I spell Todah?
T-O-D-A-H.
Toda. Toda. Thank you. So you say, when you want to say thank you, you say toda. So how do you say thank you very much? How do you say thank you very much?
Toda Rabba.
Say toda rabba. Toda rabba. Thank you very much. Oh, toda rabba. Toda rabba.
Toda Rabba.
Travel tip number 2 is when you go to Israel, I almost forgot. When you go to Israel, make sure and get some wine. Now there are many places that you can go on wine tours and stuff. We found one in the Negev, a little tiny one-man operation basically in the Negev who makes just about 2,000 bottles a year, I guess, at Boker Valley. This is Boker Valley. He is just really cute and amazing, but they grow grapes in the desert and they make wine from grapes grown in the desert. So we went there. We went to one in the north where they make wine out of pomegranates. So travel tip number 3 is a must-see. You must go visit Kibbutz Katarim. Kibbutz, how do you say it? Kibbutz. Kibbutz Katarim. You must go see Kibbutz Katarim. It's a great place to stay. Little cabins that are really up high. You can see the Galilee, the lake there, and you can kind of just get a nice breath of fresh air up there at Kibbutz Katarim. So that is a nice place to stay. Those are our travel tips for today.
I can't wait to meet you in Israel.
So remember, it's Yah's land. And no matter what the people are doing on it right now or to it, the prophecy says that one day the scattered will come back, clean it up, and call it home.
God bless you and journey to His land.
I forgot. Oh, hello! Well, welcome to my storage unit. What can I do for you? Oh, you want me to tell you a story? Would you like another story about the teepee? Oh, I have so many stories to tell you, and you know, being in a storage unit, it's a great place to tell stories. So I'm glad you're here. So come on in and sit down, and I have a story to tell you. I do. I was just thinking about it earlier, and it has to do with the color blue and a frog. I think that this would be a great story to tell you. So, when we lived at the teepee, are you listening? Okay, good. I don't think there's a huge point to this story, but it is a cute story. So when we lived at the teepee, we had to deal with all kinds of bugs. So we had to deal with animals for sure. Like we had, we had issues with different sizes of animals, raccoons and squirrels and mice, and we didn't have problems with really big animals, but we did have problems with mice. But we also had to live with the bugs, the insects. And that's one thing when you live outside that you have to deal with. And we used to have, they kind of came in waves. So you'd go through a time where you'd had to deal with, things like black flies. And black flies would kind of get up underneath, right at the base of your hairline, and they would bite you. We had horse flies, we had mosquitoes. And funny with the mosquitoes, you would be talking to someone and everybody would be going, as they're talking, everybody's like smacking the mosquitoes away while you're trying to talk on the on the mountain. Spiders, which were my least favorite of them all. You could have those brown spiders, recluse, that could make a funnel cone web thing like in a matter of minutes. Like one time I remember we were at the table and we were playing the Moedim game, actually, a game that we made for the feast, and I had turned around to a little, like my dresser behind me, and I had put my hand into just I don't know, it was just like this, like I just put my hand into something like that, and I had to get something, came back, started play. 10 minutes later I go back to put my hand in, and there's a yucky spider funnel already created in there by one of those recluse stupid spiders. And I was like, ah! You know, and at first when we were at the teepee, you know, I'd see a spider, the girls and I would see a spider, and we'd be like, ah, Isaac, come help us. But by the end, all three of us girls were like, spider, bam. We just get rid of the spiders. Well, I got a white carpet for the teepee, and you know, that seems really stupid when you're living in the mountains and you have, you know, you're always dirty. Why you have a white carpet? So I had people ask me this, and I would say because I can see the spiders so much faster with a white carpet. So as soon as I see a spider, dead. I have no patience for that. I kill them. Don't like spiders. Well, another thing that we had to deal with was ants. Ants were quite a big deal, and for some reason, those ants felt like they needed inside our teepee. There is miles and miles of wonderful forest out there for them to go find other things, other sawdust, other trees, other wood to gnaw on. But no, they had to come into our teepee. And so one of the things is they wanted the sawdust in our little compost toilet. So we had a compost toilet. It was basically a bucket, and we would put sawdust in. You would do your thing, you put sawdust over it, and it was above ground. So a really cool system, but the ants wanted it. So the ants would come, make this little trail. So they'd come marching, and they would go march all the way up the post, or the outside the canvas that goes on top, the canvas cover that goes on top of the teepee. They would climb all the way up. They'd get to a post that was sticking out, and then they would climb all the way down that post, down into our bathroom, get their thing, and then they come back all the way up. They would travel all the way and then back down the outside of the canvas. It made going to the bathroom at night a little scary because you'd open the toilet and there'd be hundreds of ants there. So we tried real hard to seal that all the time. But one thing that Maggie and Hadassah did, they would lay in bed at night, and you know, you get so used to like living with creatures from the woods, that Maggie would just lay there and at night, and she would just watch the ants go all the way up, and they would come down, and all the way up, and they would come down. So she was counting ants instead of sheep, right? Another thing I remember dealing with was we came home late one night after town day, and we came up the trail, and it was dark, and the big galvanized bucket that had the dog food in it was tipped over. So we knew that something big had tipped that thing over and eaten some of the dog food. And so we were like, a little bit nervous about that. Go to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning. Isaac hears this boom, boom, boom. You know, he hears this. Oh, there you go. That's a good sound. He hears this. We went, oh, wow, that sounded like a big animal. So he flew out of bed, threw his coat on, and I think he just still had his shorts on from bed. And he just threw his coat on and grabbed his gun. So first he moves the rocking chair to the front door, which is the canvas, door, and he sits there with his headlamp, and he just sits there, and he just watches the door for probably 40 minutes. He's just sitting there because the animal that made that sound was trying to get back into the dog food, and we didn't know how big it was. Comes to find out, probably was just a raccoon, but nevertheless, we were greenies up there. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know the woods really well, and so one of the things that that was a precious moment I'll never forget, seeing Isaac, boom, sitting right there. Well, my story today, and getting to my story, of course, I go down many tangents because I have so many stories to tell because I've lived so much. It's about a frog. Okay, so the frogs would get between the liner and the teepee cover, and it was super fun when the sun would shine on the cover. You could see the outline of a frog climbing up the canvas, the canvas on the inside of the liner. So we had resident frogs that lived with us, and one of them, we opened up the drawer one day in the silverware drawer. So we had like a little bedroom area, we had a kitchen area, we had a bathroom area, and we had a living room area, and the girls had a loft upstairs. Well, in the kitchen area, we had a little cabinet and had drawers, and which probably in the end wasn't too smart, but we had drawers. A lot of things were in containers and just really sealed down, but we had drawers where our silverware was, and there was a frog in the drawer, little frog, like this big. And so we took him out and put him outside. And then the next day we come back, and that little frog is back in the drawer. So we take him out and put him back outside. Like, why do you want to be in the drawer? There's no water in the drawer. It's not fun in the drawer. There's no sunshine in the drawer. Your friends aren't in the drawer. Why do you want in the drawer? Next day we come back, guess what? The frog is in the drawer. Take the frog out, put him outside. Okay, so this went on for a little while. Finally, Isaac goes, and he's like, I'm going to paint his bum. So he paints a blue spot on the frog's bottom, and then he puts him outside. And he wants to see if it's the same frog that keeps coming back. Ends up that you can't paint a frog, I don't think. Because the next day, the frog is back in the drawer, but there's no paint. So either the frog is too slimy to paint, and paint won't stick on a frog, or that was another frog. So we still don't know the answer to this question. But one thing we do know is that the frog liked to be in our drawer. So in the end, we just let him. You just learn to live with it. I don't know what the point is of my story there. It's just a fun story. So thank you for coming. I like to end all my stories with, and he lived happily ever after. So I hope that little frog likes his new owners and likes to live there still. Who knows if he's still there? I don't know. But thank you for coming by. Thank you for listening to my story and being such good listeners. So definitely come again, okay? I have lots of stories to tell. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, here we go. Oh, there we are. Yeah, now I think we're good now. So,
And as you were saying?
Okay, as I was saying, Hadassah and I are going to ramble for just a few moments about the stupidest holiday that this planet has ever celebrated, and that is October 31st. And you know which one I'm talking about, and I think if you are still celebrating that, knock it off. I don't know, what's going through your head, or, you cannot eat, as the scripture says, from Jehovah's table and the evil one's table. So just get your head out of the sand, people. If you're still celebrating this holiday in any fashion, shape, or form, just knock it off. So I've got some stats for you. This is a beautiful time of year. The trees are turning color. It's fall. It's just absolutely beautiful. Hadass and I like to go for walks. We like to go for bike rides. And it ruins a good walk. I mean, walking around town, even in the woods, we are clear in the woods, and there is a neighbor who insists upon decorating her front porch from the beginning of, it's been up for beginning of October, with just death and gross stuff, and her whole front yard's a graveyard, and it's just disgusting. And Hadassah, we have to go like this. We have to shield her eyes every time we go past. I mean, we're clear out in the woods. So it totally ruins a good walk. The whole entire month of October. It ruins going into stores. I can't take the kids into the stores because there's just so much evil. And if you think by any means that you can, embrace this stupid holiday that is completely wicked and make it good anyway, there's no way. Don't have a harvest party. Okay, I've got something to share with you. Okay, but just a couple stats here. There's 41.1 million. This is a brand new. This is Halloween October, or this month 2018. This is the stats from actual census. The U.S. Census.com or org. Anyway, 41.1 million children between the ages of 5 and 14. Will be trick-or-treating. Is that not insane? 41.1 million kids are going to be trick-or-treating, and behind them are parents who are teaching them to do this, who are allowing them to do this. And then there's going to be 120 million stops for those trick-or-treaters. So 120 million households will be opening up their homes for trick-or-treaters. Ah! That's insane. You have never trick-or-treated, have you?
No.
And you never will. Okay, so Hadassah, tell me. You were going to tell me how horrible this horrible holiday is. You were going to tell everyone.
Yeah. Well, every time I go into stores and I have to close my eyes every time I see it.
I know. And then whenever we go for walks.
Yes.
It's awful. It's just awful.
I believe lots of people will put Halloween decorations in front of their houses and on their porch.
Yeah, why?
I don't know why.
It's just
they have to
awful.
do it. It's awful.
I know. It's just all those images in your... Okay, so I want to know what while we're chatting about this for a second, I want to know what the stupidest thing is that you've heard a Christian say about this holiday. So I have one from Isaac this last week. He's trucking and he was listening to the radio and he heard one, and I'm going to read it to you. So while I'm doing that, if you have one, write it down in the chat or in the comments below. The stupidest thing you've ever heard a Christian say regarding Halloween. And this is the quote that Isaac heard on the radio. This Christian said, it's a lady, and she said, as Christians, we should give away the best candy bars on the block. So the biggest ones. We should give away the best and the biggest ones. And then she continued to say, God is pleased that we are at least trying. No matter what we do, it doesn't matter. We're just trying. So it's good enough that you try. So you're going to give away the biggest candy bars on the block in order to honor the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? I don't think so. I think you're just continuing to honor the God of this evil holiday. Yes, Hadassah. Did you want to say something?
No, I just waited.
She's waiting.
Sorry.
Okay, so I have just here another little printout that I got from this CBN. What is the big CBN News? This is a news reporter that did a little article on Halloween. Should Christians celebrate Halloween? I think Elliot Watson, I believe is her name. The origin, and she writes, you probably all know this, but I feel like I have to remind you because this time of year is completely insane, and you have to remember that you cannot make this a good holiday. No, and you shouldn't be marking it in any way. Okay, you shouldn't be trying to have a party or a celebration, only Christianize it or make it good or clean it up and have it on the same day. All right, that's just insanity. Okay, the origins of Halloween are Celtic in tradition and have nothing to do with observing the end of summer sacrifices to gods in Druidic tradition. is that how you say
Druidic.
Druidic tradition. In what is now Britain and France, it was the beginning of the Celtic year, and they believed that the Lord of Death, it had a name, I don't know what the name, I can't pronounce it. The Lord of Death sent evil spirits abroad to attack humans who could escape only by assuming disguises and looking like evil spirits themselves. The waning of the sun and the approach of dark winter made the evil spirits rejoice and play nasty tricks. Believe it or not, most of our Halloween practices can be traced back to these old pagan rituals and rites. I mean, it's absolutely insane, people. So, do your research if you don't know, but if you do know, then be completely set apart and don't even touch it. Christians attempted in the 4th century to make the holiday better by celebrating the lives of faithful Christian saints the day before Halloween. This was a conscious attempt to provide an alternative and refocus the day away from witches and other haunted things, whatnot. So part of that, in allowing the Christians, families have decided to allow their children to dress in more innocent costumes and princesses, Spider-Mans, and all that jazz, due to the simple reality that in today's Western culture it's nearly impossible to avoid Halloween. This is from a I think it's CBN writer. CBC. Yeah, something like that. One of the big news broadcasters. All right, just before reaching a conclusion on the subject, this is the writer talking. I was struck with the thought that I ought to further my research and find out what Wicca, the official religion of witchcraft, has to say about Halloween. Perhaps they viewed this day as a simple, fun, and innocent neighborhood activity. And shock, she said, is the only word to describe what she found. So it's a real sacred day for those who follow Wicca, who are witchcraft, into witchcraft. It's one of the two holy days a year. And I'm not even going to go into what it's about because it's so disgusting. And Hadassah's here, so I don't want to talk anymore about it. But anyway, she concludes that we can avoid it, but have a better party. Choose to have a harvest party or something. But I am going to say, be set apart, people, and don't even touch it. Don't go there. Don't acknowledge it by any means. Just put your blinders on and look right at Papa, and the next holiday is Hanukkah. So, and you've got Shabbats to worry about, you got new moons to worry about, which we're going to talk about today, and you got the upcoming Hanukkah, and you've got all the gems that you learned during the fall feast to still put in, I don't know, in your journal and print and figure out how to keep all the things that you learned. So, Hadassah, we don't celebrate Halloween. We never have.
We don't.
We will never, right?
Yes. Never.
Never, never, never.
Not in my life.
Good.
Not my husband.
Not when she gets married.
No.
Very cool. All right, we have another. Whoops, where is my? There we go. Travel tips. Oh, here we go. We got another segment for you. So I hope that was. I know I went off on that, but I feel like I need to.
Don't touch any of those Halloween decorations.
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel like I just needed to go off on that because it's so in our face right now. And I'm just so frustrated. Everywhere you turn, you drive down the streets and look to the right, and there it is, pollution right in front of somebody's house. I can't believe it. People will want to decorate like that. I mean, it's absolutely insanity. You must have to be, you've got to be possessed.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And when we went for a bike ride
I know.
on the road,
I know.
and it's Halloween stuff right there, and I couldn't look.
I know. You have to just, and I will go like this really quick to Hadassah because she has, she deals with it. The images are very, very, images come into your head and into your heart. And if the Ruach HaKodesh lives in your heart, the Ruach HaKodesh cannot live there if those polluted images of death are there. She's life, they're death, How can the two exist in the same place? They can't. So you have to really wonder, when you see a Christian partaking in this on any level, I mean, and if you're going to really be set apart, people, you really, really need to be set apart. Like, really don't touch it, I have gone into Costco. I have gone into Fred Meyer's. I've gone into managers. I've told them, it hits you right at the door as you come in. And I have gone to the managers, pulled them, and I've been angry and said, well, who do you think you are that you think that everyone who comes into your store wants to be bombarded with this crap? With death, and I remember Fred Meyer manager said, well, you can go to the other entrance on the other side. And I said, it's everywhere. What are you talking about? Like, there was one entrance that was more than the other, but I have to be so. When I talked to him, she was little. She was hunkered down in the cart because it was so in your face. She was hunkered down and she was terrified. Like, do we have to make life more scary than it already is? So anyway,
It's so boring.
I just want to encourage Israel to, as you're coming back, really purge yourself of everything that has nothing to do with Yehovah. Just get it out of your life and get it out now. It's not going to kill you. It's going to make you better. It's going to get you to the happily ever after, okay?
and just repent out of
Yes.
pagan holidays and return
Yes.
to Yehovah's feast
Yes.
on that side.
Absolutely. To the right way.
Yeah, to the right
To the
way.
light. To the light. Who wants so dark? It's crazy. All right. Another segment for you.
Everyone, this is something that I've seen you make and give away many times. From a distance, it looks like a graph of our solar system.
No, it's not a graph of our solar system.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Like that.
All right, so what is it exactly?
I'm not an astronomer.
Yeah.
Astronomer, yes. Okay, this is what I'm calling a rhythm graph.
What do you mean by rhythm?
Okay, what do I mean by rhythm? I mean, when you turn from the pagan rhythm to Yahweh's rhythm, and the pagan rhythm is the holidays. So you live your life in a certain rhythm according to these holidays, and they literally consume you and they own you because you have, your Sunday worship. Every Sunday you have a worship day. And then you have Christmas. Every December 25th, you get your boxes out and you do the certain thing. There's this rhythm. January 1st, February 14, it goes on and on. So that's the pagan rhythm. So when you come out of that and you teshuvah to his rhythm, we have to be taught. We have to learn how to do that and what his rhythm looks like, because you're going to give up that rhythm and you're going to find this new rhythm, the very old rhythm, ancient rhythm, much more ancient than the other one, but a true holy rhythm. And so this is what I'm calling a feast rhythm, is how you're going to live the year, the holidays of Yehovah, the holy days of Yehovah. And you start with, the head of the year, Rosh Hashanah, Pesach, unleavened bread, and these are all the feasts you're going to celebrate throughout year after year after year. It's a new rhythm. It's a new way to live your life.
How would it help someone celebrate the feast better?
Well, I think we need reminders, and I think everyone needs something on their walls to help them remember what they have committed to and what they have promised Yehovah. So this is mounted on foam core, and I think that this hanging on your wall is going to help you celebrate all these feasts. You're going to know and you're going to remember, these yellow circles, that means it's a high Shabbat. I need to make sure and get work off on those days. And there's a key right here in case you forget what those means. You can look, the key. These are the brown ones are the 7 annual feasts. You have the 2 blue ones, which are festivals, and you have the others that are in green, and you have the amount of days that are in these long week ones. And which one's the brown, with the circle, the blue circle over it? It means it's a travel feast. It's a pilgrimage feast. So, and there's lots of detail about each one of these and what they mean. So this is a fabulous tool to have on your wall to remember the ways of Yehovah and remember the rhythm, because we need help.
So how does it come to someone after they order it?
Okay, so I was mailing it out like this, but it was super expensive to mail it out like this. So I'm actually mailing out rolled up, and then you'll have to mount it and spray it with Elmer's glue and mount it onto your own foam board. So it's coming to people rolled up now.
This is something that will help someone stay on track with Yehovah.
Yes, it will help people stay on track with Yehovah throughout the year.
No. No, I just there was a thing on it.
Okay, I'm going to invite Isaac to join me. We're going to talk about the new moon. And for some of you, you may, oh, by the way, that calendar, that big stiff, well, it doesn't come to you stiff, as in mounted, I should say. Yeah, it doesn't come mounted. I'm cold, so I grabbed my shawl that I had back here. It doesn't come mounted, but it comes rolled up in a scroll kind of thing, and then you can mount it. But it's super cool.
Yeah, you can put it on cardboard or poster board or whatever.
Yeah, because it has, each feast there throughout the whole year, and it's kind of like this rhythm. It just helps you with the rhythm. It helps you walk that rhythm every year, and just a little synopsis about what each one is about. So definitely get on and order that, and I'll send it to you. All right, so we're going to talk about the new moons.
Okay.
Isaac, I have a Prezi for you. I just want to encourage you to also get my biblical feast planner. This is actually the last week for a while that we're going to talk about feasts and how to celebrate them, like what kind of generally what they are, and then how to celebrate them, and all that. We're going to talk about a few other things before Hanukkah, and right before Hanukkah we'll start talking about how to plan out Hanukkah and everything. But my feast planner has, whoops, my feast planner is pretty cool. So you can kind of write out and be led through, what you need to think about as you're planning feasts for your family, and because it's a big deal to like change habits. So if you are somebody who has been doing this for a very long time, not such a big deal. If you're somebody who hasn't done this before, or you're new to it, then this will help you. It is a big deal to change habits, right? So there we go. All right, and I think, let me see here. I've got the Prezi. Let me go to this live camera, and then we put Prezi on. All right over your face, Isaac. How's that?
It's fine by me.
Okay, I'm gonna have you scoot over. Whoops, we're gonna go this way.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, go a little bit further that way, and I'll make it bigger. All right, let's see. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can probably see that better than we can. But would you just read that little bit? This is what magazine is this?
Is this the Science Magazine?
Yeah. It's from, who is it from?
Acts and Facts.
It's from ICR.
Yep, Institute for Creation Research.
Right. And so they actually, let me just start the slides because I think
Okay.
So just so you know, these are Prezi slides. This is like PowerPoint on steroids, and I love Prezi. And because I can share the link with you, and you can study the Prezis that I've done, and you can share them with your congregation or your assembly, or just for yourself or your family or whatnot. So I will have tomorrow the link to this in the description below. All right, but the monthly new moons. So what is a new moon? So we're going to, in the Acts and Facts magazine. I was reading this last week, and then thought it's an article on the moon.
Yep.
It's called the moon required for life on Earth, and then I just ran into this little statement that he makes. I thought that was pretty cool to say.
Yeah, since ancient times, the moon's prominence in the sky and regular phase cycle have made it a major influence on the development of calendars, agriculture, language, and art.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting that they would acknowledge that too. I mean, it's a kind of a duh and a given, but we seem to have a lot of chaos making in this movement. And so we're going to just go through quickly what a new moon is. What is the new moon? So let me move this so we can see. There we go. So Isaac, is this good? Can you see?
I'm sorry, but it's kind of...
Whoops! That's
no,
too big.
okay.
No, what? What? I'm listening.
Well, I was just going to say that shouldn't it be kind of a duh?
It
Because the only cycle that's not based on, on the heavens is the week.
Right.
And that's obviously Papa's cycle.
Right.
The year is obviously solar, or however you want to count it, as the Earth's trip around the sun.
Yeah.
The day is obviously one revolution of the planet.
Right.
Unless
you're a flat earther, and then don't even get me
I don't
started.
even
Sorry,
know how they
I'm
do
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry. Don't give me. No, I'm listening.
So isn't it obvious that the moon is based on a 30-day?
I know.
The month comes from the 30-day lunar cycle.
I know. Logic. Just plain logic.
It's plain logic.
Duh.
It's also plain duh.
All right, so if you are hearing the call to repent and return to Yehovah Elohim, then you are part of the scattered remnant. And so after understanding Shabbat, which we talked about last week, you are also going to learn that the new moons are something that you are also supposed to acknowledge the head of his month. So the new moons are the head of his month. We're going to explain that in a second. So what is the head of the month? Oh my. So here we go. We have a little time to do this.
Okay.
I have 4 segments to this. The last segment is the coolest. We've got pictures to show you from our personal journey, so stick around, okay? So when do the months begin according to the scriptures? So here are some scriptures. Exodus 12:2 says, this new moon, as you can see, this new moon, Hodesh, shall be for you the beginning of months. So the word for beginning or head is Rosh. The word for new moon is Hodesh. The word for month is Hodesh. It shall be the first Rishon, which is the word for first, and first month, Hodesh of the year. Rosh Hashanah for you, right? All right, and then Deuteronomy 16:1 says observe, which the word is shamar, which means to watch for, and it also means to watch for narrowly, the month, the Hodesh of Aviv. So Shamar Chodesh Aviv. You're supposed to watch for the new moon of the Aviv. All right. Psalms 81:3-5 says, sound the ram's horn at the new moon, the Hodesh, and at the full moon on the day of our Hag. So interesting. There's several things that are interesting right here in this one. I love this one because it breaks it down where the full moon is for the pilgrimage feasts. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. It's so cool because those pilgrimage feasts are near the middle of the month, which when you'd be traveling, when you would need the light.
Right.
I mean, we lived in the teepee. How cool was that to have full moon when we lived out in the woods? Mm-hmm. I loved that because you could see the trails and you could go to the bathroom without. I mean, just you find the bed. Sorry, find the outhouse
or whatever.
You can see the moose when they get anyway.
See what's out there clumping around in the woods.
Yeah. And then there's also so sound the ram's horn at the new moon, so Hodesh, and at the full moon, Kisha. It's like 2 totally different words. Right. So I like that. New moon first, or that sliver, and Kesha, or however you say that, is the full. Anyway, I like that because there's 2 separate ones there that he's talking about. Okay, then also Psalms 104:19, and I love this one. He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. You can go ahead and you can look at this. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go to BibleHub.com. You can go to any interlinear Bible, and you will find that the word for seasons is Moed or Moedim, which obviously reckons back to Genesis when he said he put the moon and stars in the sky, moon, sun, stars, and all the heavenly bodies to help us know the seasons, which is Moed, which is appointments, royal appointments. So I love that. The moon is for the Moedim. So you're going to look at the moon in order to know when the Moedim are, and those Moedim fall in the first month. Pesach is the 14th day of the first month. Unleavened bread starts the 15th day and goes for 7 days. You have first fruits in there. You have all those spring feasts there in the first month, and in the fall you have in the 7th month. Mm-hmm. But you have all the fall feasts, Yom Teruah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shemini. But you have to find those months in order to know when those feasts are. Okay, so the word for month is Hodesh. In biblical times, it was interchangeable with the words with new moon. Everyone back then knew that as soon as the sliver of the moon was sighted, it would be the new month. So the Hebrew scriptures uses Rosh Hodesh, head or beginning of the month, to also mean the sighted sliver moon, which is the moment after the full conjunction. So you have the full conjunction, and then you have that moment afterwards when you see the light. That is the new moon. Okay, is this a Jewish thing? Marking the new moon is not just for the Jews. In fact, they abandoned it, abandoned the practice of observing the new moons
Right.
when they created the calculated calendar, when Hillel calendar,
Right.
when the Sanhedrin met, when everybody got dispersed, and they did that they were only supposed to do it for a time, but anyway, there is actually a New Moon Society in Israel. I believe it's called that, the New Moon Society in Israel, that actually is helping to restore the proper reckoning of time according to the Aviv, barley, and sighted moon. So I think that's
Right.
cool. They're Orthodox Jews, I believe.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so it's not a Jewish thing also because according to the Genesis creation account, we can see that the sun, moon, and stars are placed in the heavens to tell all of creation when to show up for the Moedim or the royal appointment. So it wasn't just for the Jews, it was for everyone, all of his creation.
Right.
And it says in Ezekiel that we'll be celebrating the new moons during Yeshua's millennial reign. Go figure. So if we don't, it says in there, it's in Ezekiel, but also in Isaiah 66. Oh, I didn't put the text in there, but Isaiah 66:22 also talks about that, where, he's like, and if you don't show up, bad news for you. So we might as well start practicing right now, hey?
That's right.
Okay, so what did Rabbi Yeshua do?
Well, what did he do?
According to Philo, Philo is a contemporary of Yeshua. They were using the observed sliver to mark the months at that time. You can go ahead and do your own research if you don't believe me. But there's no place where it is recorded that Yeshua ever celebrated a floating Shabbat, a dark moon, or had a sundial in his backyard, people. Sorry, but I think it's just...
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious to believe that Yeshua had a sundial in his backyard, or a sundial on his, like, can you imagine Fred Flintstone idea?
Right.
That's, like, so disrespectful. I mean, that's just, yeah, okay. Also, he did not have a problem with the day of the week that was set apart for his father's Shabbat. He never spoke against the evening to evening day reckoning. So as you can see, he never corrected the rabbis about when the new moons were celebrated or when any of the feast days were being set apart.
Right. He showed up
He did.
for feasts
At the
at
feast.
the time when the rest of the society was observing them.
Right. In his society, it was the
And he
Jewish world.
Yeah, and he wasn't trying to correct them.
Never,
or
not
observing
once.
it differently or something, and then he fulfilled
Right.
feasts
Right.
on their appropriate day.
When they were celebrating them.
Yeah.
They were celebrating them on the correct days
So
at
how
that
much
time.
more confirmation do you need than that?
I'm so tired of this being an issue.
know.
The calendar is just exhausting everyone. Daniel said that the evil one will wear the saints out with the calendar issue. And he's doing that. He's just totally making chaos. We have stuck with this calendar since the day one when we learned it. We were like, whoa, that's in the scriptures. We see it. We embraced it. We had done our research. Wow, this is the way it is. And then we lived it.
Yeah.
How many people are being trapped right now in this, I don't know what the calendar is, and not being able
Right.
to actually
Find
just live
someone
it?
else out there, teachers included,
Yeah, teachers,
who
totally.
have not changed their tune or switched from one to another, or
I know. It just get us. It's pretty sad. So, if you look at who our rabbi is, you look at Yeshua, and Yeshua said nothing when it came to this. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So, I think he would have had a lot to say about it if they weren't doing it properly.
yeah.
All right, so that's. I'm not planning to do a huge teaching on this, but we're just trying to cover a few things. Is watching for the new moon a pagan practice? No, it is not. So we are simply watching the new moon phase to determine the start of the month, as the instructions tell us to do in the scriptures. Excuse me. We are not worshiping the moon or letting it run our lives like the pagans who practice astrology do. So unless you are trying to do that. If that's the case, then go find another channel to watch, because this isn't going to be the channel for you. Okay. This is not what this is about. It's about worshiping Yehovah Elohim, the Creator, by watching the clock that He set in the sky. It is not about worshiping the clock. Okay? unless that's what you're trying to do, and then, you're going to answer to Papa. All right, Papa Yehovah Elohim, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let me make it clear who I'm talking about. All right.
I think the people know.
Okay, good. All right, is a dark moon the new moon? No. The scripture makes it clear that we are to observe the Hodesh, the new moon. One cannot observe a dark moon. Can you look up in the sky and see a dark moon, people? This is so logical. Can we get past this? You cannot see a dark moon. A dark moon is 2 to 3 days dark. So tell me, if you're going to look at dark moon, then which day would you consider the new moon day? You can't know. So listen to this. Philo wrote that the new moon follows the conjunction, but it is not the conjunction itself. People that believe this are spreading absolute lunacy. Oh, and a friend told us what lunacy means, right? Something that happens to you.
Yeah, they liked your
my article I wrote.
pun.
Lunacy meaning, what was it again? Something that happens to you during one of the phases of the moon or something that makes you
Yeah, it was like some
weird.
sort of mental ailment that was intermittent, and so they would attribute it to the phases of the moon. So that person would then be called a lunatic.
Yeah, well, that could be what's going on. Okay. All right. Does the new moon start off a new week causing a lunar Shabbat? This is the floating Shabbat idea. And no, people. So a new moon does not start a new week. Okay. Nowhere in the scriptures does it say that it is to be the first day of our week. It is the first day of our month. Only. This is where the lunacy of a floating Shabbat comes in. So
There's a few things that might be, that maybe could be a little more clear in scripture, but this is not one of them. I don't think anyone's even trying to support that one scripturally.
Oh, there's a lot of people trying to.
Are they trying?
Oh, I have heard of people who actually have done this, and they will have a regular weekly Shabbat on a Tuesday.
Oh, I know they're trying to observe it that
insane.
way, but I don't think they're supporting
and then they
it
work on the
scripturally.
7th day. Oh, well, no.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. Okay, is the new moon a high Shabbat? No. Nowhere in scriptures does it say that it is a holy assembly where to do no work. So it is not a high Shabbat. Okay, just so you know, it's not a high Shabbat. You can see celebrations in the scriptures. I think David has a celebration. He knows that it's going to be, have the celebration the next day, and that's something. But it's not a high Shabbat. There is one major reason for marking the new moon each month, and that is
practice.
Which you and Maggie do not like to do practicing. Piano. I used to practice piano for like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. A concert pianist, supposedly. But I know what practice. Practice is important. You're going to practice making new habits that are in line with Yehovah's law. You're going to practice looking up in the sky. You're going to practice watching for what will happen in the sky on the 7th new moon, which is the king's return. You're going to practice the rhythm. You're going to practice, there's a daily rhythm. And there's a weekly rhythm of Shabbat. There is the monthly rhythm of the new moons and the annual rhythm of all the feasts and festivals. So you're practicing his rhythm. So what are the most important new moons? There's 2. One really important. What's the first one?
Well, I just read the slide, so maybe that's cheating.
Okay, what is it?
Rosh Hashanah. Head of the year.
Head of the year. Yep, and that's important because we got to find the first month so we can count properly. Mm-hmm. To find the most important one, which is?
Well, to know the rest of the year.
Right.
Yeah, so that we can count the moons and the months until the 7th.
The 7th month.
Yom
Teruah. Very nice. And we practice all the other moons to get ready to observe the 7th. The 7th is the most important. Absolutely. Okay. What will Yeshua's Melchizedek priest be doing now? I'm saying that because Yeshua is the high priest and king in the order of Melchizedek, with Melchizedek, the king of righteousness, who is the father. So the father, Yehovah Elohim, is the Melech Tzadek, and Yeshua has been on Yom Kippur during his year when he was here. He was raised to be the high Kohen Gadol of the new priesthood, the Melchizedek priesthood. And so what I am referring to is people who are in line with Yeshua, in line with Yehovah, who have said, I want to serve you, I want to honor you, I want to be your bride waiting for you to come. And these are his priests. They're his royal priests, Melchizedek priests. So royal Melchizedek priests will be not causing chaos. Okay, and they will be observing the months as instructed in the scriptures. So we have a statement here from the ministry that says new moons are the head of the month. Excuse me. We hold to the simple understanding, logic, and belief that the new moon occurs on the first visible sighting of the sliver. We are calling this a Melchizedek conclusion, because not only did Yehovah, the Melech Tzadek, command us to sight it and observe it, but Yeshua, our high priest of the fathers, Melchizedek order, never challenged the practice of sighting the new moon when he was here. Therefore, sighting the new moon is how a disciple of Yeshua, the Melchizedek, would mark the new months and find the Feast of Trumpets and Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year. There you go. Our statement. There we go. Back to, okay. I think I'm getting warm, but we are going to press through here and keep going. A personal audit. Just quickly, let's look at your personal audit. Take a moment to do a quick examination on how you are observing the new moons. Okay, question 1. You can go back and you can look at these again and really think through them, okay? But for now, do you feel that marking the new moon is optional? Good question. And question 2, how long have you been practicing the rhythm? We've been doing it a long time. How long have you been doing it? Question 3, how do you celebrate the new moon? More than a decade, I think. How do you celebrate? We're going to talk about how we celebrate later, and I'm going to challenge you on a few things, and challenge you to be creative and whatnot. But how do you celebrate the new moon? Question 4, do you meet with other people for a celebration? Why or why not? That's something to think about. And question 5, do you think you celebrate the new moon well? I think we do.
It's been going well.
Yeah. Question 6, are you flexible with the new moon your new moon celebration changing as your family dynamics change, and as your assembly, if you have an assembly, how that works, or if you're all by yourself or whatnot. But, when the kids were little, it's one way. When the kids are bigger, there are other challenges. And I think this is finally question 7. Do you love celebrating the new moon? Why or why not? Hadassah loves it. She gets Chinese food, and she loves Chinese food. Okay, I got some more to show you here.
Yeah, go.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go on to... See, I have these little clip arts here because the new moon is about certain things. And I know there's a soup bowl here, and you're probably like, why is there a soup bowl here? But the moon, as you look, you like this.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell us about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, if you look at the bowl here, you can see that it's kind of has that crescent, or that sliver shape.
The sliver shape.
And when you
when you look at the sky throughout the course of the year.
Over the course of the year, each sided sliver is in a different orientation.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the year, it's upright, like the bowl in the pitcher.
Yeah.
Like a bowl that could be full and holding something, so it's full of hope, promise at the beginning of the year. But then as the year progresses towards the fall and harvest time, then the bowl tips up.
Yeah.
And so like the provision
is poured out. Yep.
So it's like the hope is realized,
And that's something that we have discovered is that on the new moon, when we go out to do whatever we're doing for the new moon, we talk about the provision that he's given, and so much of the time we can see some major provision at the end of the month, as if that bowl is like totally tipped, and we're just you know how he says open your mouth wide and I will fill it, sort of thing. I just imagine the bowl, our mouth open wide, and he's filling it with provision. So I think that would, let's see, we had the audit, we had the timer. So I had the sand timer because we talked about the moon in the sky being the sand timer, and then the audit there, Okay, the bowl. All right, new moon challenges. The following is a sample list of challenges that you might have with the new moon celebrations. What are your challenges when observing the new moon? And this is a great little activity. Get some Oreos.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Get some Oreos and then make your moon cycle.
Yeah, we don't do it every month.
But when the kids were little, that was something we did a few times.
It was fun. Okay,
common challenges with new moon observance is your level of conviction and thinking it is optional. That would be a challenge. That's
going to make anything challenging.
I know. Yep. All right. Demands of others. Is your church, are you part of a church still, Christian church, and they're like, what are you doing? You look like some pagan who is going to go look at the moon, work, career, sports. Do you have a sports, meet that night? And are you willing to forego the sports meet to observe the moon? There's a lot there. Attitude of your own heart and those around you. That affects
For sure.
a lot, yeah. Complacency, being lazy. Oh, it's Wednesday night. It's the new moon. I'm too tired. I'm too tired. I don't want to. That's laziness. Stopping in the middle of the week to do something special to set apart and look up in the sky. That's a huge challenge if your level of conviction isn't very good, very high. If you've got stuff set against you, if you've got other commitments, or if you are lazy, then here's your huge challenge.
Amazing how hard it can be to stop.
I know. I know. But
Yeah.
that's what the evil one wants. He wants to just work you into the ground. Like so much of these, the royal holidays, the royalness of it is to help us remember we're not slaves in Egypt.
Right.
And so as you go throughout your week, you're clocking in 8 to 5 or whatnot, and to stop on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night or whatever night it is to go observe the moon, it's to flip Egypt off and say, you're not my God, he's my God. He's my Elohim, and he is trumping. His times trump yours. And I'm going to leave and I'm going to go worship him. That's huge. Okay. All right, and nobody to celebrate with. That would be a challenge if you have no one to celebrate with. But you can celebrate with your family. You can celebrate, go find someone to celebrate. Go find a friend, even if they're not believers. Go find a friend to celebrate with.
Sure. Go stand on the sidewalk and look up at the sky. And
then blow your
how many other
shofar.
people come join you?
Blow your shofar and say, then get to preach on the corner.
Yeah.
You stand on a rooftop and preach like Papa or Yeshua said to do. All right. Lack of creativity and feeling the freedom to explore this time. Okay, so common challenge would be a lack of creativity. I think that's huge.
And lack of freedom.
Lack of freedom. Not having the permission, not feeling permission.
A common challenge.
Not feeling permission to be creative and explore his feast. Being fearful that you're going to do it wrong or something like that. Another common challenge is winter hours and weather. Those are huge.
Yep.
Yeah, winter hours.
In the winter, it can be a little bit tricky.
When the sun goes down at like 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
When it's socked in and raining and snowing.
It's socked in and raining and
That
snowing.
can make it a little difficult.
I know. But then this is another challenge, is if you don't see it, then what do you do?
Right.
So we have thankfully there's a team in Israel, which hopefully they'll be growing and there'll be more of us over there, but there's a team in Israel called Deborah's Date Tree, who all over Israel they have believers that watch for the new moon, and so then you can get an email, and it's fabulous to, we're supposed to be in the land. I mean, he wanted us to be doing this in the land, so right now we're practicing for when we will go.
Well, and it's interesting too that the important months, the first month and the 7th month, come at times of the year when the sky's often clear.
Yeah.
Around here.
That's true.
We don't have an important month, a critical sighting that comes in the dead of winter.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that I think the internet is fabulous for helping us right now.
Sure.
So, but also we also take it very seriously to see it with our own eyes. So if we don't see it, then we will go with Israel's sighting. Right. If we see it and Israel doesn't see it, I want my girls to understand kind of the rhythm. I want them to understand the rhythm. So if we see it, we're going with that because they've seen it. You've seen it with their own eyes. So we go with that. All right. So how can you celebrate his new moons better? That's my last question. All right. I know we are a little bit over time here, but we're going to go and we're going to look at some family pictures of our own, and I'm going to give you some suggestions on how to delight in the rhythm of the new moon. So that was a shofar, by the way, clip art, because we're going to blow the shofar on the new moon. So what new habits can you make in order to grow in delighting in the new moons? That was a picture I took just of this last new moon out right above the city. It was so beautiful. So here's our ideas. All these photos are taken by me. Okay, so invite friends and eat out at a restaurant that you have to walk to, so that you look up in the sky before you get to the restaurant and afterwards. If that would be special for your family. So if you go out to eat all the time, then that might not be special. If you're eating out every single night, then don't go out to eat. But for us, it was super special to go out to eat when we lived at the teepee. That was like super, super special. We used tithe money we had set aside, and I couldn't get, when we were super broke, I remember spending $13-14 on the meal, and we'd dress up, we'd go down to the Chinese food place, and we would buy only $13-14, and we'd share it. Mm-hmm. It was a big deal with because we came down off the mountain and came into society, and and the waitresses at the restaurant would go, "Oh, you're here. What new moon is it? What number is it?"
Yep.
They wanted to know. That was good. All right. What do you talk about at dinner? So if you do go out, talk about his provision that he has brought over the course of the last month before you ask for more. That's something that you can talk about. You talk about, what the new moon is about. So control your conversation during dinner. Otherwise, it won't be special. It won't mean anything. So, we get maybe some wine once in a while, and we'll toast to his new month. That sort of thing. You pray and that sort of. Sight or observe the new moon is something else to do, obviously. You're going to sight that sliver. And this is on your left, I guess. That's Isaac and the girls sighting the new moon of Rosh Hashanah, the Aviv moon, in Arizona one year.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out where that was.
That's the Colorado River.
Oh, okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then this is downtown here. The new moon over the top of our street. Oh. And then blow the shofar or the trumpets, of course, when you do sight it. That's something that's a tradition to do. Hadass has gotten really good at blowing the shofar. Well, it's a little hard right now with her braces, but she used to be super good at it when she was little. But that's us at the teepee blowing the trumpets. And all right, dress up and make it special whenever you go and whatever you do. So no matter what situation you find yourself in, you can make this special. We dress up for the new moon, at least something different. We just don't wear our work clothes. Okay, you don't just roll out of work and roll to the restaurant and just, you got to set it apart somehow. So that's one of the ways we set it apart. So another thing to remember is to keep it simple and within the context of the situation you find you're in, so it's sustainable and it's doable, because you have to do this every single month. This isn't, this isn't optional. You're in or you're not. You're all in or you're not. You just don't dabble in his stuff. You just, he's going to move you at his time to learn about stuff. Absolutely. So, but once you know about it, then do it. Just jump in all the way, right? So this is a picture of us at the teepee. Just we did our little walk down to the meadow to be able to sight it, and then we were this was just a very, very simple one. So you don't have to do it. It doesn't have to be complicated. I got more ideas here. Definitely have some wine and laugh and stop being so dang serious, Israel. I'm so tired of the seriousness. Everybody's so serious. Let's get the joy out. Let's start really dig deep and get some joy, and so others can feast on the joy that lives inside of us. If you need a little wine to help you, then great. Then have some. It's Isaac being funny. That'd be fun. Do different activities. I have a new moon activity book that you can purchase and download on our website, but you could make one too if you want. And then I also have little new moon reminder books. So these are actually little books that we have for each one of us, and in them we write down how you can make these. It's just something we take to the table on a new moon if we do go out to eat or picnic or whatever. and you write down for that month what wonderful things he has blessed you with, the provision that he's given, because the moon is so about, I mean, there's all kinds of beautiful things that, you know, the renewed moon, we're renewed, you know, the moon reflects the light of the sun, we reflect the light of Yeshua, and then about the provision being poured out. So we take some time and remember, and these are great because then you can remember where he's been over the course of the last month in your life. All right, and then, you could have a picnic out in a big sky area so you can watch for the new moon to appear. We do that. Picnics are great in the summer, but they don't work in the winter. Take a whole bunch this is another thing that I do. Take a whole bunch of pictures of what you do that evening and then organize your photos by his months. It really helps you, especially whoever's doing the photos, whoever's taking the photos off of your phone and storing them somewhere. You know, how you store them. That's huge. Yeah, I do that. That is a huge job, but I force myself to organize all my pictures by his month. So I don't organize my pictures by January, February, March, April, and all that jazz. I organize them by first month, second month, third month, fourth month. So I can go into my photos and look at the 7th month, and I see all the feast photos. You know, first month, that's a lot of work to do, but I take a lot of pictures of our new moon celebration because then when I'm looking through my photos, I like see that and I'm like, oh, there's a new new month. So just another way to live in his rhythm. For a time we had a youth group, and so do an activity and pizza. So we called it activity and pizza, new moon activity and pizza. So we'd go out and we bowled and we did a bunch of other things and had pizza. That was good because the kids like that a lot. Do a food hop. Food hops are so fun. Mm-hmm. I like food hops. Do you like food hops? I like food hops. So food hop is where it's something that during the summer it's really fun because you can go out. So my goal is to get the family outside to look up in a situation where we're having fun and to look up into the sky. Because it's huge. Like, how many of us have never looked up in the sky before? Right. You know, we didn't know where to look when we were first doing it. Like, where's the moon? Like, we thought it would be anywhere.
I know.
But in a food hop, you can walk around and your family goes to, or the group goes to one restaurant and gets one thing, and you share that. And then you go outside and you walk around, you look up in the sky, not here yet, so you go into another restaurant and you get one thing and you share it. And then you do the same thing. It's super fun. This is like lavender ice cream and some crazy other thing, and it's cool because then you get to know your community a little bit. And then just recently, the girls and we do this new thing. We're doing new moon baskets. So we get just a whole bunch of fun things with some printouts on what the new moon is about, and we like put it together for people who are believers, people that we know are believers. We want to encourage them to continue celebrating his ways, and we want to edify each other. So the girls and I put these little baskets together, and then we after dark or when the new moon is something we do now is we drive up to somebody's house who we know who's a believer, and we leave it on their front porch, and then we run away. And then I got those little lights that glow with batteries.
Oh yeah.
So the basket actually glows on their front porch. That's fun. It's been really fun. Also, another thing that we're just starting to do is we got the Sky View light map or app, and so you can hold that up, have the app on, you can hold it up wherever you are, and you can see the constellations, you can see where the planets are, and it's super fun to like show the girls like what's going on in the sky. Mm-hmm. And that's a great time to do it. But use whatever you have available that makes it special. To make it special, as in with all the feasts. So this is, we had available a gazebo one time near our house, and so we set up a nice table for some friends the girls' friends, so teenagers came over, and we had a nice little meal there with candles and everything. And this is a picture of one of our picnics. So we use tithe money, use Yah's savings plan for you to help you celebrate, because he wants you to be successful. And he is providing for you if you obey the command to tithe and set it aside, and then obey the command as to what you're supposed to use your tithe for, which is not to propagate more lies in man-made religion, but is to actually celebrate the feast. and do it like royalty within whatever situation you find yourself. So we, whether it's $20 or it's $200 or whatever, you just use his tithe money.
Right.
So whatever you do, be consistent with that activity. It can be in different locations, but be consistent for at least like 6 months to 1 year, so that your kids and you look forward to it, and so that you form habits and you get lots of memories. So this is a little picture of Hadassah, my little Chinese takeout food girl. She loves, ever since we did that super consistent for a couple of years, and so that's new moon to her, is I get to go out for Chinese food, even though we've done a ton of other different things. But have fun observing the new moon each month as you anticipate the 7th month, which is all about the return of the king. This is one new moon we had up at the teepee, and we went and observed the moon, and then we went and built a campfire. All right, so there you go. The new monthly new moons. Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. I love Papa's rhythm.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I hope you do too. Let's go ahead and we're going to thank you so much for helping me. I know, baby.
I know. Cat's got my tongue.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to go ahead and play the rest of our show here for you. I like to close Shabbat with a small ceremony called Havdalah. Havdalah is division, dividing the holy day from the work days. It's important to somehow guard the edges of Shabbat. We're doing our Havdalah.
Find joy for the coming week.
There are so many ways that you can enter and exit Shabbat. If you do it like our brother Judah does it, you'll need a Kiddush cup for talking about overflowing joy, a Havdalah candle to talk about when the two become one, spices for talking about how to be a fragrant aroma to the King. Whatever you do, separate Shabbat out. Teach your children how to do this, and do it beautifully. May the ways of Yehovah Elohim, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, burn into the minds and hearts of the next generation. Okay, so as I close out today's show, I want to leave you with Yeshua's blessing to his Melchizedek priests, or his Talmudim, his disciples. They're on the way to the Garden of Gethsemane. Most of the time you'll hear the Aaronic blessing when people bless over you, but I want to give you Yeshua's blessing. And this is found in his prayer as he's praying for his disciples on the way to the garden. And I'm kind of summarizing, but I have given them, these are his words, but I'm like, not the whole thing because it's pretty long. But I have given them your word, and the world has hated them. I do not pray that you would take them out of the world, but that you would keep them from evil. Sanctify them through your truth. Your word is truth. I have declared your name to them, so that the love with which you have loved me may be in them, and I in them. May they be one as we are one. That is good news, my friend, to be one with Yehovah Elohim, the Father, as Yeshua was one with him. So may you have a wonderful week. I will see you next week for the Happy Hippie Hebrew Girls show. And be sure, ladies, to come over to the group, Ladies of Teshuvah group in Facebook. I'm going to play my interview with one of the ladies this week. It's going to be great and you're going to love it. So please do come over there if you are a lady of Teshuvah, a lady of repentance. And also don't forget to support us. We definitely need your help to continue in ministry. So I'm not taking this lightly, and I'm not, not able to continue without your support. So please do give your offerings. And here we go. You'll see how right here. Your and faithful support is much needed in order for our ministry to thrive. If you have benefited from our work, then please become a patron today. Visit www.patreon.com/Rebekah Garvin to give your support.